Welcome back, thank you for joining me. Another repair on my Volvo XC70. We're gonna replace this part number made in Sweden. This is the PCV oil separator cover for 6-cylinder Volvo engines. And this is original part from Volvo. It went bad. The membrane is bad. I'm gonna show you two different variants. This will be the more expensive one. This separator costs right now 260 Canadian dollars, which is not cheap. Your other option is way cheaper at approximately $10 to $15 is to get just the membrane, just the cause for the failure. So I'm gonna show you both repairs, the complete replacement of the cover and replacing just the membrane. We're gonna do it on both Volvos, the XC70 and the S80 T6. So stay tuned and you can choose your own route.
Okay.
Next, how to check if your oil trap was replaced. If you look on my old cover, I already replaced it. This was installed from factory in 2008. So my cover was never replaced. It's original from factory. After replacement, as you can tell, it's now marked 2019. The part actually was laying around for quite a few years. Only now I got a chance to install it. 2019. We will need Torx 30 and 88mm socket to complete the job and a few other tools. You will also need a hose clamp right here. I'm gonna point to it right here. Now the hardest part of the whole process is the back Torx bolts. Very hard to get to, and also you don't want to lose and drop them at the back of the engine. So let's get to it. So my XC70, here are the symptoms. Definitely an excessive vacuum pull from the filler cap. And also you're gonna hear air escaping from this little hole, and also you're gonna hear squeaking and howling sound from the engine. All these are indications that your PCV valve has failed. Your membrane is torn and it needs to be replaced. Yeah, this shouldn't be happening. Let's begin. I have already detached the hose with the clamp from the turbo inlet pipe, and I found out that some of the brackets are broken to the pipe. As you can see, it's already loose. And if yours is still attached, it's gonna be pretty difficult to remove those bolts because they're so hidden at the back. Remove all the Torx 30 on around the valve, the PCV valve cover. Also detach the connector from one of the sensors on the right side. The most difficult is the rear bolts. Again, as I said it before, it takes time and effort to remove those bolts without losing them and dropping them at the back of the engine.
Так еще один вот.
Unscrew the 8mm bolts. You don't have to take them out.
Ну просто странно, что 100 тысяч и надо менять вот это.
Ну, охереть.
Может, не надо выкручивать полностью. Ну,
Да.
видно, подымется. Там новый, да.
Once you remove all the Torx screws and the two long bolts, now it's time to detach it from the valve cover. Just gently wiggle it and make room, whatever is in the way, detach or disconnect. And don't drop the bolts. You wanna reuse them.
Слушай,
The
у меня
oil was
тут знаки,
changed
типа, больше,
every
чем у тебя
6,000 kilometers with Mobil 10W, actually 5W30. So this is normal residue. I don't see any problem with that. You don't need to clean anything inside, just the maintenance surfaces for the seal. You can see here the number of screws. This is one of the brackets that is broken that holds the intake pipe for the turbocharger, the inlet air pipe. Not a big deal. I don't think there's another one up there. You can see the detached connector from the sensor. Now let's break the cover from the valve and take a look at the membrane. I bet it's torn. So remember, 13 years old, 110,000 kilometers. You wanna replace it sooner than later. Don't wait until it's gonna go bad. I did, the part was laying around. I should have done it sooner, but at least now you could see the symptoms of how to notice that you have a problem. You're gonna have the squeaking sound from the engine, howling sound, excessive vacuum pull from the oil filler cap. Sergey is gonna take it out. And let's take a look.
Wow.
Definitely. Here are some tears. The membrane is tired from all the heat and all those years.
А ну, отверткой.
Что?
Хотя, это открой, да, вытащи.
Да давно порвано, видишь? Он.
Such a
Черный.
pity that you have to replace
Вот
the
это, что у меня
whole
оно поскрипывало,
PCV
это оно.
assembly just because this membrane is
Ну,
bad.
вот сейчас вот видно свет.
I don't think it's wise and it costs a lot of money. So definitely next
уже
time I
вся
will be
уходит,
replacing
видишь?
only the membrane itself. I'm gonna show you later. We're gonna do it on Sergey's S80. So much easier and so much cheaper.
Ну что,
So
100
let's
тысяч, да, всё?
install the new PCV.
100 тысяч и 10 лет. Скорее всего, второй.
Before installation, make sure you clean the maintenance surfaces. We are reusing those long 2 8mm bolts.
Да, потом в конце уже.
The new PCV cover comes with a new hose, but it doesn't include the clamp, so you will need to buy a proper size clamp.
Не-не-не, сюда. Сюда я. Сюда еще. Эти надо держать, ёбаные. О, все. Как бы да. Не? Чего не? Здесь стало.
Okay, finally it's in position. We're gonna screw all the screws in and just make them nice and tight.
Да.
Или плохо.
Но ты видел, хорошо, ты видел тоже, когда мы слушали, начало скрипеть опять.
Что?
Ну, посвистывать что-то начало.
Ну, ты это как экстра вставишь. О, все.
Make sure to reconnect the connector on the right side for one of the sensors.
Так.
On the left here in position, the hose is back in place and tight with the clamp. Now it's time to start the engine, and we wanna see
Давай.
no excessive pull
Я
from
уже
the
снимаю.
oil filler cap and no hissing sound from the little hole. Let's hear that.
Что? Я тебе скажу, оно у
And
меня
it works
порвалось
as it
не так
should.
давно.
the repair is complete. Now we're gonna move on to Sergey's S80. What a coincidence, but his also went bad, and he went the cheaper route, just replacing the membrane. So the aim here is to break off at least 2 tabs to let loose of the cover. So we're carefully breaking off the cover and not the tab on the actual PCV assembly. So keep watching. If you have a different way of removing this cover, let me know in the comments. I think it will be very beneficial to whoever is going to be reading and doing this job. But this is the way we did it. And now we can pry it off just using a few screwdrivers and some leverage. Just carefully, be patient.
Я засунул.
Это гребаная трубка.
Вот отсюда. Бери руку, вот отсюда.
Finally it's off, and immediately we can see a tear. So confirmed, the PCV valve is malfunctioning. Again, this is a 2013 S80 with 160,000 kilometers. This should have been done before the failure. My advice, don't wait. Order this membrane and replace it. Of course, we cannot confirm the quality of the membrane that is supplied, but if it's gonna last a few years, this is way cheaper than replacing a $260 assembly.
Слушай, а реально масло тут, глянь. Прикинь. Вот сколько бабла. Да пипец, честно. Не надо ничего разбирать.
Time to install the new valve. Now this is the tricky part, because every time when you flip it around, it falls
Главное
out.
это установить хорошо.
So we wanted to
Может
use some
побрызгать ВДшкой, чтобы она
grease
заскочила
to
всё?
make it stick to the cap. It didn't work out. We also decided to lubricate the tabs so it slides easier once it's on there, so it's gonna click in a little bit easier. I don't know if it was necessary, but we did. And then eventually Sergey will be able to correctly line it up. Before that, we did clean out from inside, including all the mating surfaces, just to make sure.
Посадить ее на какой-то
And now we're gonna
солидол.
show you that it's a little
Чуть-чуть,
bit
знаешь,
tricky, it
капельку.
falls out.
Так, пружинка встает там в эти пазы.
Не, не советую. Морой.
And this is the way we were able to do it, just holding it with the fingers. And finally we can align the tabs and push it into position.
Ну тогда уже сними, посмотри, я не знаю.
Чё? А шо? Чё его снимать?
Думаешь?
А чё?
То есть все, он типа ровно там?
Ну да, пружинка вот там находит на этот. По-другому-то его никак. Ну, получается, теперь надо.
Вот так, да.
Done.
всё.
It's in place. Time to test. Start the engine and
всё.
check for any excessive pool of vacuum in the oil filler cap area. It works as it should. Also notice on the marking 2012, so he still has the original factory installed PCV assembly, so definitely time to replace it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, it will be helpful. Like it please, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you guys, bye bye.